Welcome back to Premier Football Show with me, Kevin McCallum. On the line, we got Kris Fesel, Ironman legend. How many Ironmans have you done, Kris?
I've done 22 in total. I'm busy training for my 20th Ironman South Africa.
So, just to check, are you the only person who's done all 20 Ironmans in South Africa? Is that right?
No. So there's 7 of us. 7 of us that obviously need our heads red.
True.
But yeah, so the 7 of us that have completed every Ironman in South Africa since its initial race in 2005.
So, the suffering that you go through in Ironman, it's obviously been as much as you have had as a City fan recently. But there's been some good news. 6-0 over Ipswich, back into the top 4. Are you in a better space today than perhaps you have been for a while, rather?
Cheaper. It's been quite an up and down season for us the last few months. I mean, I've supported City my whole life, so I should be used to City losing. But you get into a comfort zone with us being in such a good space over the last 7-8 years. But it is good to see a bit of form. 6-0, I wasn't expecting 6-0. Ipswich are the kind of team that City would slip up against.
Yeah.
City have got this typical City tag. You never know what you're going to get with them. But 6-0, yeah, I'll take it. And our neighbours lost as well, which is always a bonus.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been so happy in my life. I mean, the slump though, and this is going to sound harsh, but take it for what it is. Unpopular opinion. How much of this is Pep's fault? I mean, Rodri's injury obviously huge, and Kevin De Bruyne was struggling with injury and a bit of form, slowly coming back in. But Pep not building on what was an aging team. That was a massive mistake. Should he have signed in the summer?
I think we have got a couple of players that are getting on in age. I mean, obviously Gundogan came back, which I found was quite strange. I mean, everyone was hyped up about him coming back, but he doesn't seem to have hit the form that he was on when he left, when we won the treble. Silva's getting on. Walker's obviously getting on a bit as well. But I think that obviously you have quite a few injuries to key players like De Bruyne and Rodri, which you struggle to replace a player of that quality. But I think the players were also getting to a stage where they were quite tired. I know they were talking of playing in excess of 60-odd games when you take club and country into account. So I think the players do get tired, but you should have enough quality on the bench. But it's frustrating with Pep. I mean, you get 5 substitutes and you get to like the 85th minute and he hasn't changed any players. And you think, well, what's he doing? So sometimes you do question Pep, but he's in the position that he is because obviously he knows what he's doing. Some of it would be Pep's fault. Obviously not strengthening, letting Alvarez go, letting Cole Palmer go. But we struggled at the back. I mean, we just can't seem to hold on to a lead. 2-0 up, and then you end up drawing or losing. So it's been a weird season.
Yeah, it's you did like that anchor of Rodri in the middle, but you actually hit the nail on the head, and I think you let too many of the young players go. Cole Palmer, Leon Delap. I mean, Alvarez, who you let go because he was being sold for 75 million quid, and I think
you got to make money,
yeah, and he would have been a hell of a bit of profit for you guys, but he could have done a bit more. I mean, is there only so much that Guardiola's genius can do, and the players have to step up as well? Or is there just too much football? I mean, Arsenal have now just played 3 games in 6 days, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, we always go on about, you're on 250 grand a week or you're on 300 grand a week, I mean, there's guys working in factories working 12, 15-hour shifts. But, I mean, the body can only take so much physical abuse. So you do look at it and say, well, there's the Carabao Cup, there's the FA Cup, there's this European competition, which I take no notice of, where the countries play each other.
Yeah.
You got your World Cup, you got your UEFA. I mean, there is just too much football. They don't get much of a break in the summer to refresh the batteries. And then when you do pick up a niggle, you're forced to play with these niggles, and you just can't shake the injuries. So I think there is actually too much football.
Yeah, more exactly. The signings on the horizon, obviously, this January, there's a couple already half finished. There's obviously been interest showing. But Erling Haaland's deal, I mean, it came out of nowhere. 9.5 years.
No, I was totally blown away with that. Yeah. I mean, Haaland, when we signed him, it was a great signing. He seems City through and through. Obviously, as a goal-scoring machine. But my dad actually sent me a text message on the day it happened, was Wednesday or Thursday, and he said, "Yeah, he's like basically extending to 10 years." So, I mean, that's crazy to think that a player will sign for that amount of time. Obviously, people will go back to, it's all about money, but he does love the club. He loves playing for the badge. He loves the fans. So, but yeah, totally out of the blue.
Yeah, so I mean, I was reading, I think in the Athletic, I wrote about him, and one of the reasons that he stayed, I mean, there's been a lot of speculation he was going to go to Real Madrid, but he's apparently known to be very happy living in Manchester and playing for Manchester City. He gets on well with the staff. He's just had a kid. He's bought a house. I think he's just moved into a new house. Yeah, they all have a great relationship, from teammates, the staff, up to the chairman, Al Mubarak. So his father also played for City before Roy Keane tried to amputate him. Yeah. But it's a hell of a. Part of me thinks, I'm wondering if it's a good deal. Do you think it's a deal that City's owners are now showing, right, Pep's going on. Pep's leaving a couple of years. We know that we've got these 115 charges coming up. Now we have to make like a public stand to show we are still here for the future. We're going to stand up. We're going to, this is our big statement. Do you think he's almost like a statement signing rather than,
I think it's definitely a statement. Obviously, they're looking to the future. I mean, Haaland's he's only 24 years old.
Yeah.
So he's going to be scoring goals for a long time. I know Alan Shearer posted something saying, well, good luck getting his total, but you can see Haaland getting it. I mean, Haaland is an out-and-out striker. I mean, he's massive. I mean, he's a brute. But yeah, like you say, there's the charges, the 115. There's Pep's definitely going to be leaving. I mean, we don't know when Pep's going to leave. I mean, you being a Liverpool fan, I'm actually dreading the day that Pep leaves because he's been so good for us. But it is a statement to say, look, we're signing this guy for extending it another 5.5 years, whatever it is. So we're here for the long run. When they took over, everyone was saying, they'll get bored after a few years and they'll sell the club. As a City fan, you actually look at it and you think, well, maybe this is a statement to say, look, these charges with the Premier League, we're actually not bothered about it, because I think they actually know the outcome. They know what's going to happen, whether it's guilty or not guilty. But I mean, you wouldn't sign a player of Erling's stature for that amount of money if we were going to get relegated to the first division or kicked out of the league. So it is a statement, and it puts City fans at ease knowing that he's going to be there for the next foreseeable future.
I mean, you said he's obviously a monster of a man. David Walsh, writing in the Sunday Times, wasn't sure that he's been good for City because he doesn't play the way that they want them to. I think even Mika Richards criticised him during the Brentford game during the 2-2 draw. Despite them being 2-0 up, he made like a half-hearted attempt to challenge for the ball from, I think it was a long clearance from the back. He doesn't seem to quite fit into the play, but yet he scores goals. So are you taking the good and the bad? Do you think he's been good for City, or is there more that he can improve and can he get better?
He obviously has been through a slump lately, and you don't know what it is, if he's not getting the right kind of service. But I was glad to see him score when he got back onto the score sheet. But I mean, when you're watching on TV and he loses the ball, he's not the kind of person that will run like 50, 60 yards and tackle somebody. He likes to stay either in the centre circle, and he just walks around, and he doesn't look like he puts much effort in. He obviously does. But I mean, his job is to put the ball in the back of the net to get as many goals as possible. But yeah, sometimes you look at it and you think, well, surely you should be putting tackles in. But the one thing, I don't know if they figured out how he plays, but I mean, football has become like rugby. When you see free kicks or corners, I mean, the amount of tackling and arms around the waist, and there's some rugby challenges some rugby players would be proud of the challenges that defenders are putting in. I mean, football's become such a soft game. I mean, you can't tackle this. It's not like the good old days where you could get stuck in. But you look at some of the corners and you think to yourself, jeepers, how does that not get blown up?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, he's a strong fella. So obviously the guys they manhandle him quite a bit because they think that's how they're going to get the better of him. But he seems to just brush it off.
Yeah, it's a bit like tackling Eben Etzebeth or Achia Snyman. That bigger beast. I mean, I wouldn't put on run. And by the way, those good old days of football, the reason I can't run properly anymore because of my knees, ankles, everything. We used to kick lumps out of each other in the old days. And going on to the old days, we've got to talk about Dennis Law. He was a City player, but obviously he was more of a United legend. His life was rightly mourned and celebrated across United and City. Extraordinary player. Do you have any memories of him, or was it?
No, so obviously I grew up. My dad's a City fan. My uncle's a United fan. So
Shame.
I grew up. Yeah, so I grew up hearing about Law and Best and Charlton on the red side, and then on the blue side it was Bell, Lee, and Summerby. Okay, I mean, those are the 6 players that really dominated in the 60s. So I didn't actually get to see Dennis Law play, but I have seen footage. There's a lot of footage online. Yeah. And obviously the famous goal that Law scored just before he retired. So he started at City. We signed him from Huddersfield in the early 60s. He spent a bit of time with us. Then Torino came in and bought him, but he only spent just over a year in Italy, and then he moved to United. And then when he was at United, things just escalated, and he became part of their trio with Best and Charlton. A great player. I mean, I'd actually love to see guys in the 60s play in this day and age. You know, I mean, you look at our fields. I mean, if you can't play on a pitch like an Old Trafford, the Etihad, Anfield, I mean, those playing surfaces are absolutely amazing. But you look at when they played in the 60s, it was like a mud bath. I mean, the boots were heavy, the balls were heavy. So I'd love to see those kind of players playing in this day and age. But I mean, Dennis Law is one of the, there's about three or four City United players that are classed as legends on both sides. And they garner respect from either the blue half or the red half. I mean, he was a legend for United in his right. And then obviously City players look at him as being a legend in blue as well.
Yeah, well, you're a legend of the Ironman. So it's going to be a 20th one. I mean, you recovered from, it was a brain tumor. Who are you raising funds for? Just tell us where we can deposit money. Basically.
Thanks. I appreciate that. So like I said, I'm one of 7 that have done all 19 Ironman South Africas. We've got the 20th one coming up now in March. So I've been fortunate to race all 19 and be injury-free. In 2015, I did have a bit of a setback where I had a brain tumor. That they found a tumor at the size of a setback. Yeah, a bit of a setback. It was like having wisdom teeth taken out. So I had this tumor 2 weeks after Ironman in 2015, and I came back the following year, carried on racing, and I'm lucky enough that I've been able to carry on racing. I'm healthy, injury-free. So this year, with it being the 20th, I've decided to race for Ironman for the Kids. It's a charity initiative with Ironman. It was actually started by the ex-rugby player Garth Wright and his partner Gary Stevenson. And they raise money for underprivileged kids in the Eastern Cape. But what I'm going to be doing alongside that is half my money raised will go to the Eastern Cape charities, but the other half I want to go to CHOC, the Children's Cancer Foundation. Yeah. I mean, kids deserve a fighting chance, and it breaks my heart to see kids underprivileged, sick, battling with health issues. So yeah, I'll be racing the 20th Ironman South Africa in orange. That's their like catchphrase. You race in orange. So, and raising money for underprivileged kids and sick kids.
Great stuff. You give me the details there. We're going to put it up on our website and put it up on YouTube as well. Thank you very much. So we have a click through. Kris, Man City fan, you're up to 4th, but you're still behind us.
To be honest with you, I'm realistic. I don't think anyone's going to catch Liverpool this season. We're building. We're getting back to winning ways, but I mean, your new manager's just come in and he's just hit the ground running. When Klopp left, I thought, well, surely there's going to be a bit of a slump, like when Fergie left Liverpool, but when Fergie left United. But Slotter's just slotted in. He's done so well. So I think you guys are playing exceptional football. Looks like the spirit is good in the camp. So I don't see anyone catching Liverpool, to be honest.
Well, I think we'll just leave it there. Thank you very much, Kris. This has been the Premier Football Show with me, Kevin McCallum.
We're putting African sport first, live and on demand on your phone, data free on the MTN network in South Africa. T's and C's apply, and online at omniaudio.africa. Because reading about it tomorrow won't help you today.